Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald,
I'm bored.
and today we're bringing you an unboxing of 7th Citadel, which is the follow-up, the successor to 7th Continent, which was a smash hit when it first came out. This is by Serious Poulp. Yeah, Serious Poulp Games. So 7th Citadel, much like 7th Continent, is a exploration game that kind of revolutionized the hidden cards. So cards are out face down, you choose which way to go, and then you flip over a card, sometimes having to spend your cards to do so.
Yep.
And then there's a story moment that's there. And all you know is kind of the basics of the story, and you're trying to figure out how to get through wherever you're at. In 7th Continent, you kind of woke up with amnesia in this island. It started off with you having to get off a submarine to find parts, and it felt very much like the video game Myst. Do you remember Myst from back in the day? So it's kind of Myst-esque, to where there wasn't really any fighting. It was more so a survival game, to where you just had to find a way to build equipment based on items you found that would help you complete tasks easier, so you didn't have to spend your cards as much. And one of the things that I really like about this, where it comes to the strategy aspect of it, is, I don't know if it's the same for this one, but for 7th Continent, you had a stack of cards, which were your abilities, but it was also your health.
Interesting.
So
if you run out of cards,
your
health
so you had to find
diminishes.
ways to get cards from your discard back into your deck.
Okay.
So, and then you had to, okay, am I going to pull?
It's like Lawyer Up.
In a way, yeah. So there's, on the side of the cards, there are like stars and half stars. And so successes are, you need a number of stars. So if you needed, 2 stars, then, the percentage of getting such was high if you took this many cards. And instead, it gave you in the book, it gave you the percentages. So you have to decide, okay, am I going to go for 3 stars on just taking 3 cards, or am I going to really make sure I succeed by taking 5 cards? But by taking 5 cards, you whittle down your deck that much faster.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of balance, which is a lot of fun. But we're going to dig into the base box here to start. We do have the expansions, which will show you those boxes afterwards. Here we go. As you know, while Steve's opening this, 7th Citadel is more of a campaign-esque game. It had, would you cut yourself with plastic? No. It has
lost the finger.
Has some more components in here, much like a campaign game. So a book to write on to keep track of things. I think there's more of an overarching story instead of a bunch of individual ones, like in 7th Continent. But we will see. It says here, explore, build, you are the hero. All right, first up, we have a bookmark. Okay.
It looks like a maze, almost. Oh, no, it's not.
Not really. No, it's just a bookmark of sorts, but okay, cool. Nice. Do we want to do the zoom in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Here we go. This over a little bit there. Boom. And you got the rule book there. Which,
always. We'll come back to that. Because we're going to do, right after this video, we're going to do a live learn. So obviously it's just a rule book. It says rule book. We will save this fully for the live learn.
We have a card here. It says 00 in here. So all the cards have this number on them. Not 00, but a number. And this is just a thank you from the backer, or from the creators of this.
Oh, sweet.
It just says, this adventure, which could never have been performed without your support, is now entering its final stage. We would like to express our gratitude to you both for the trust you placed in us, for your patience. The 7th Citadel was a titanic undertaking. First, because it has such a narrative dimension, approximately 250,000 words, i.e. twice as many as 7th Continent. And 7th Continent was a big game with a lot of cards. But also because of the improvements made to its gameplay, particularly the use of the take this card if available in the adventure deck icon, which enabled us to remove a large number of unnecessary cards, replaced with high-value written and or illustrated cards. Through this note, we also want to thank all those who worked on the project: Erwan, Pierre, Ian, Matthew, Henry, Jean-Michael, Camille, David, Maylee, Barry, Bree, Stephanie, Saturnic, Panda Team, Kudos Team, as well as every tester. Another big thank you to all of our families and friends for their unwavering support. It is now time for you to set off and explore the collapsing lands. We hope you enjoy the journey and bring back many memories from it. Nice. Ludovic and Bruno at Serious Poulp. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys putting the work into this game. I have no doubt it's going to be amazing.
So we can already see there's a lot of cards.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of cards here. So what we'll probably do is we'll do the unboxing, and then before we jump into the live learn, we will go through and organize all these off screen. That's nothing that's going to be interesting for you to see. There's no special way to repack this like we normally do, like we did with Wormspan. It's literally just unpacking and putting the cards in there in order.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Over here, on top of those, I just pulled them out.
And I'll move this off screen.
We have a ton of different books. One of these I covered up right now because Nick's going to hate it. We'll find it. So we have a new beginning, which is the intro scenario. So this will go through a nice little intro scenario, probably help you set up the decks to make sure everything is set up there. So we have that.
The beginning.
We have both the Drums of Desolation and Dardenheim's Awakening. That's a D. That's a D.
That's a CH.
That's a Dr. Chimes. I don't know.
Dr. Cames?
But we have a whole threat book here, so things will happen as we experience these
Daddy Kane's Awakening.
We have this, which I'll cover last.
Nice you get this. That's right. Yeah.
We have a dialogue book. So obviously this will happen as you go through the different things. You go through, it tells you, hey, read such and such section.
Nice, that's new. Love it.
Which I don't know if this will be like what's already on the cards. The cards probably going to tell you, go in the dialogue book, read such and such.
Yeah, because I'm saying, I think instead of having a bunch of cards that have all that on there, they opted to do that instead, which is great.
And then we have this, and this Nick is going to hate this. So it's all writing things on paper.
Yeah, so I don't mind the writing things on paper, but the thing is, I don't like destructive games unless they're meant to be legacy games. Yeah. What I appreciate is they gave you four. So you can go through.
And it is a co-op game, so we don't only use one of these total as a group for the first playthrough.
I have no idea, honestly.
This is like name of your community, players taking part in the adventure, so we write all of us down.
Yeah, must be. What else is on here? Just information. Cool, so it has some quick references as well.
Yes, we keep another one up.
I guess buildings that you probably upgrade throughout.
Yeah, because it has the little markers for the upgrades on the buildings there.
A huge map, which is kind of cool. I like that. This big map here that they have, so you can go through and assume like mark off
side quests. Use this page to write down any information related to your side quest. See page 24 in the rule book. So it looks like you can you earn a side quest, you get the title, you have your progress steps, and if you're initiated and finished it, and then any notes you might want to take down, it might tell you.
Yeah, I don't. So I don't mind this if I have a dedicated group or if I'm playing by myself to where I know it's not going to just be a waste.
What kind of sucks though is right now is like you can play 4 times, and we in our careers of gamers will play probably more than 4 times. It's like once you get past 4, you have to order more or start erasing, and then it just looks rough sometimes.
Yeah, we would probably just order more. They usually have them printing for free as well. But honestly, I think this will probably take a while to get through. So if we play it more than 4 times, it'll be over at least a decade.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with this. Honestly,
we're gonna play it 4 times today.
that it's set up. I have a problem when it's like a quick game and it expects you to use written stuff over and over again. Like if you're writing on the actual like components, that I don't like. If you're writing on cards, that annoys me. But this is fine because this can be easily replaced.
This here is the actual map, so we're going to save that for last.
Well, what we can talk about before we actually open it, if you want to show them the map here. So there are slots on the map.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's little like
cards
squares.
Will slot in, most likely, because they're all squared.
Yep, so there's lay on top.
They just kind of slot in to cover up that spot. So that's fun. The never-changing map is...
But to show the actual map, we'll save that for last.
Yeah.
We'll just show what else.
All right, so here is some foam. All right, so first up,
little decks.
Okay, so they gave us some stand-ees. I'm pretty sure I have the one that has minis. Yeah. So we have minis here.
So these will mean nothing.
Those will mean nada. So we have, they're color-coded for some reason. I don't know if that matters at all. But just like in the first 7th continent, the minis are super small, which is fun because they fit on the cards really well. So there's no way I'm getting this close enough to camera to show you. Well, I guess that's not too bad. But so same typical small minis, color coordinated for some reason. I mean, they also have these color coordinated, so there might be a reason for the colors, and I have no idea what these are for. These little tickers were not in the first one. I like how solid these are, though. These turn really well. Like they don't shift at all. So my biggest pet peeve whenever you have some sort of dial like this is when they just kind of naturally loosely turn. And these were all pre-put together. These are just like plastic and complete. They're not punch board components. So there's 4 of these. So really interesting. I wonder
the colors have to matter based on character or something.
They do. Well, there's also 4 of those. So I'm like, okay, does each person have
maybe
their own one?
It is 1 to 4 players.
No idea. And then, of course, the typical magnifying glass. So on the cards, there are some small things and secrets you can find only if you look closely at them.
Yep.
There's like hidden numbers. And if you find a hidden number, you would go to either, usually it would be the card, but it's probably going to be the book this time. You would look for it and say, are you on this card? Yes. Congrats. Da-da-da.
Yeah.
You found this. Standees for these, which again, probably won't need. And then these dice are actually new. They didn't have these dice last time that have the stars on them. So that's probably part of improving this game. We can take these out. Get rid of these in these bags. They can sit right there. What I'll do is for now, we'll punch these boys out. We'll put them in here just in case there's some reason for it.
And then in this box as well, and we already have the expansions off to the side, which we'll show you in a moment. But in this box as well, we have On the Edge of Peril. So a very small little box. This is an expansion. Contains 30 additional cards, 2 new dividers. It cannot be played without the base game, which makes perfect sense.
Nice.
So that we won't open. We'll keep that as a surprise. And then
and what we'll do is we will separately look at these expansions before we go to play, because some of the expansions do add elements to the game. They're not simply extra stories.
Yeah.
So those extra elements to the game will add in to make our time harder, because
for sure.
Our name is
and then
Steve and Nick.
On separate from all those cards, which again, like Nick said, we'll take out the box. We'll have those all separate. We have all of these dividers. So these are just the generic ones. So you have like your save point divider. You'll have some of these numbered ones.
So the number one, so the fog. So I know you haven't played Seventh Continent at all.
Yeah.
So the fog. So you would orientate the cards that have fog on the back of them, with the fog facing forward in these sections. And so on the map cards that get put down, it'll have a number of the 1 through whatever in a certain direction, and that would tell you which section to go to grab one of those to put there. And those would be randomized and shuffled in those sections.
Yep.
All right, so I was just putting these little minis in their stands just to get them in here.
And this is a nice easy box to put back together again.
Yeah, it's literally just cards. It's much like Lands of Galzir.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I saw the box.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Lands of Galzir probably got the idea for the card functionality and storage from Seventh Continent. As I said, Seventh Continent really pioneered the card usage idea. Nope.
This just went right there.
Yep. And the foam that they have here for us is to help with the cards. So that way everything stays.
Yeah. But as you play, this whole section will expand and expand.
Right, we'll move those.
As those cards move around.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to actually get rid of this note. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We have the board before we get to the expansions. So here we are.
I'll keep the bookmark. That's what I'm going to be for.
So we have 6 columns, 5 rows. We do have little things here. They do, those tiles slide right on in there. So that's nice.
On it's labeled A1, B2.
Yeah.
Help you find where you have to put
So this
cards.
matches this map. Yep. So the map that's on your little player guide there perfectly matches what this map is. But I'm excited for this.
The Kel Protectorate. So this world is called the Kel Protectorate.
Yeah, there's Kel.
There's
Keenan?
No Keenan.
High five. That was a horrible high five.
Excuse me, what with the opera? What are you doing? High five. Okay. Use the hand that's closest to you. Cool. So what do we got in this world here? Let's just see. We don't know what any of this means. The Forgotten Wilds. Ooh. Interesting. Bottomless Sea. Anything that sounds foreboding. 2 sisters. Tooth Peak. Chestnut Inn. Crowned Peaks. Very cool. The map, I love maps like this. It reminds me a lot of like Middle Earth and like those kind of old school adventure maps. I like game books. And I have a few of them over there. Forgotten Kingdoms. Kingdoms. I don't know what it's called. I haven't played it in a while. I think it's Forgotten Kingdoms, but they have a bunch of maps like this, and it's a similar thing like this, but not with cards. It's more dice are used, and it's more of an RPG and choose your own adventure style. But it has a map like this, so you can see, okay, if we're here, and it's telling us to go there, then that's kind of how far our journey is. So maybe we should stop here instead and take this quest, which is going to lead us there first, and yada yada. So yeah, really, this is way different than Seventh Continent. Seventh Continent didn't have any kind of map at all. You had a card that had like a crudely drawn map that went with whatever storyline you were playing, right? And so you got the storyline like, oh, you need to figure out a way off this island. Like that's your thing. You woke up here, figured a way to get off the island. And then you had this tiny little map which had like footsteps and it had like really like crudely drawn icons. And okay, so I guess if I go this way, that's where that thing is potentially, but you don't know how far and exactly how west or how north. It's like, okay, in general, go northwest and see what happens. And then when you find like, okay, cool, if I'm here, then that should be this way. So that was kind of fun. But having this is going to be that similar idea, a little bit more clear. So yeah, very excited to dive into the Seventh Citadel. So even though the Seventh Citadel is obviously technically a campaign-esque game, we may do a regular playthrough, just kind of get through the intro to see what that's at, and then we'll come back to maybe later to do the actual campaign.
Just like Elsier.
Yeah, and we'll treat it like everything else, like the Tannic Rails, and when we get to Isofarian Guard, where once we start the campaign or whatever the storyline is, if they're separated into chapters, we will get through that entire storyline. We will not pause and break in between.
Yeah.
But great. So let's put this away and let's
somehow put everything back in the box. No, I'm just kidding. This one I don't fail at.
Oh, this one's easy for you. Yep. Oh, and you failed.
I didn't. You forgot the bookmark. And then what expansions do we got here? We're not going to actually open all these expansions yet.
No,
until the book tell us to do so.
Yes, so they're cards. I don't think the books will ever tell us to do so. All right, so first up here we have Knowledge is... We'll do one at a time. So Knowledge is Power. The Knowledge is Power expansion.
Here, I'll just go to you.
To me. To you. Knowledge is Power expansion. It says, this expansion for 7th Continent contains 40 cards, including 20 double cards, to spice up your adventure. It cannot be played without the 7th Citadel base games. I have no idea what this is. I mean, this may just be more cards that you could find, this is why I was saying, like, for some of these, we'll want to add them right away, so they're in there ready to go.
Yeah.
Some of them are potentially different storylines. So we have the Unveilers here. So bugs. So it looks like for this one, you can get a little hint on the back here. There's some minis and more cards in this one. You can hear it. It says, commonly called Unveilers, these ladybugs, as big as a fist but completely harmless, are familiar to arcanists.
Yeah, like,
okay. Yep. Treasure seekers and other intrepid adventurers. Unveilers are attracted to magical emanations, like flies to a rotting corpse. Spotting a swarm of these critters is usually a good omen, but maybe some magical items are better left buried. Cool. So again, that could be, that sounds something we would just add into the game to have going.
Then we have two more. We have the Alembic of Valengard. So this is obviously alchemists and potions. So the Alembic of Valengard, the legendary Alembic of Valengard, disappeared during the conflict between Kel and the Worm Master. Rumor has it that a necrodruidic spell was cast and broke into several pieces, giving each piece 2 root legs. And now it's wandering, waiting for the day when it can finally be put back together. Contains 3 new miniatures, boom, 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 30 cards, and a mystery box. Do not open Yeah, there's some mystery box you put together in here.
That's fun.
That looks fun.
I forgot to mention the unveilers contain 6 miniatures and 30 cards as well.
And then this one's probably my favorite. I don't even know what it is in the box, but it's called The Final Throne, and I love Game of Thrones.
Yep.
This here, it says, the discovery of a mysterious stone throne in the mansion of the ancient Killian family will set off a series of events in which you will be involved and which will take you all over the collapsing lands. This is a new threat. So this is true. I think this is truly an expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It contains a new threat book, 126 cards, and 1 Citadel leaflet.
Oh, so those other books that are in there.
Yeah.
But cool.
So there's a whole brand new additional set book, more cards.
Which again, this may still be something that we add in initially because it may be.
And then you just get to it eventually.
Find these, and then you end up having to do that. So we'll probably end up adding them all in before our first playthrough. Yeah, we have our 7 Citadel. We have our 2 expansions here. Or sorry, 4 expansions.
Boom.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Love it. Super excited to jump in. No app required as far as I know. So yeah, we'll see. So now we're gonna pull out. We're going to put all of this stuff away and organize it, and then we will be recording a live learn, which you can find on our channel as well. It's not live. I guess we're not doing it live in front of people, but it's live in the sense that we're not playing this and then doing a how to play teach. So it's the typical reading through the rule book and figuring out how to play through. It may tell us to jump right into that first scenario. So if the first scenario is the way that you learned, then we'll end up doing that right now. But thank you for watching this unboxing of the 7 Citadel and looking at the expansions. This was Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm Board.
We'll see you at the table.